Next time you stop at a gas station, think of it as a $100 a month tax cut, or maybe a $100 a month raise. That is a verbatim suggestion from CNN, which goes on to report, quote, a $1 decrease in gas prices equals about $125 billion a year in savings for U.S. households, or more than $10 billion a month. That's equal to about a half of a percentage point on the nation's gross domestic product, the broadest measure of economic activity, and that's just a direct benefit. Lower diesel prices bring down the cost of transportation for all goods, including food. If you add in the indirect benefits, it's real money. Real money in our pockets, all because the price of gas has gone down on Joe Biden's watch. Thanks, Joe. Except, of course, that it hasn't. It just hasn't. It's just not true. The price of gas has increased substantially on Joe Biden's watch. It's up almost 65% since the day he took office. And that's with him draining the National Strategic Petroleum Reserve through the midterm elections. After that, it's going to go right back up again. This article from CNN, this very article by, what's his name? Chris Isidore. This would make a North Korean news anchor blush. Pravda, at the height of the Cold War, would think twice about running this kind of ridiculous propaganda. Da, comrade, that is too much. You have gone too far, comrade Isidore. And yet CNN has absolutely no shame. In the old Soviet Union, at least Pravda admitted that it was the Communist Party paper. In the U.S., our allegedly intrepid and independent press runs this kind of nonsense on a daily basis. The only difference is that CNN and the New York Times and the Washington Post and all the networks and on, the entire establishment media apparatus doesn't even have the decency of the Soviets to admit that they're party organs whose only job it is to carry water for politicians. If you wrote a Hollywood script, you took it to a studio producer in Los Angeles, you said, here's my script of a completely propagandistic news media that all they ever do is shill for the dominant regime, and you brought them this headline in this context, gas going through the roof, cost of everything going up, 40-year record high inflation, and you brought them the headline, America just got a $100 a month raise. Thank you, Biden, for these gas prices that you can see with your own eyes, and you got to pay for them out of your wallet. They're really, secretly, they're really low. Because 2 + 2 = 5, you would be laughed out of the room. They would say it's 2 on the nose. You got to cut it out. Americans can tell. Okay, the joke is not on us. They think the joke is on us. They're in the editorial room. Tee-hee-hee. Let's convince all those hoi polloi idiots that actually the gas is cheaper. Tee-hee-hee. We'll pull the wool over their eyes. No, the joke's not on us. They are the joke. CNN is the joke. They're the punchline. Okay, Americans recognize this stuff. They are sick of the propaganda. That is why we cheer when CNN's ratings go down. That's why we cheer when one of the least bearable, I was going to say most unbearable, but I get one of the least bearable, most tedious figures on CNN, Brian Stelter, just got canned. And it brought back this montage that tells you everything you need to know about our establishment press.
This brand new research by Gallup says American trust in the mass media is at its lowest point since 2016 and near a record low overall.
Jeff Zucker has announced his immediate resignation as the president of CNN. This comes amid an investigation into what Jeff Zucker calls a consensual relationship.
What happened and where CNN goes from here?
You were caught masturbating on camera. You since then have been on leave from CNN. Do I have all that right?
You got it all right. Sad to say.
The biggest media story this weekend, it's the firing of Chris Cuomo from this network, CNN. Late Wednesday, a lawyer contacted CNN with a sexual misconduct complaint about Cuomo.
Joining me now, the man who accused Don Lemon of sexual assault. His accuser claims Lemon started rubbing himself.
But the even bigger point, I think, is about what the press is. Is it produced by reporters or by repeaters? Repeaters are the talk radio shouters. They're on TV and radio telling the same story every day. President Trump.
Donald Trump.
Trump.
Telling the same story every day.
Same story every day. So what are we the reporters or the repeaters? Obviously, the people at CNN are the repeaters. They repeat whatever the regime wants them to say. And occasionally they have to face some consequences from that because the people can recognize that this is all ridiculous. They can see right through it. Not just because they go to the gas pump and they realize, wait a second, I'm not saving money on gas. CNN lied to me. I'm actually spending a lot more money on gas. That's not the only reason. I think the other reason that people started to wake up to just how terrible the establishment media is because of the internet. Because there was a period where people really did trust the establishment press, those 3 news networks that you would get on TV. They would trust Walter Cronkite. I don't know why they did. Walter Cronkite was a radical leftist. He was a member of the World Federalists. He lost us the Vietnam War. The guy was not balanced, not moderate, not centrist at all. He was far on the left. And yet people said, oh, I trust Walter Cronkite. And now people say, whatever happened to Walter Cronkite? Even some of the other ones later on in the 80s and the 90s. Tom Brokaw, I trusted Tom Brokaw. These days, though, I don't know. What changed? Is it that the news anchors changed? No, I think it's that technology changed. I think the biggest reason that people no longer have any faith in the establishment press is not even that the anchors changed all that much. It's that people can now go on the internet and look it up. When you hear something from the establishment press, instead of back in the old days, say before the mid-90s, when you'd hear it and maybe you'd say, that doesn't sound quite right, but anyway, I have no idea of figuring out if it's true or not, so okay, moving on with my life. Now, after the internet, you can say, hold on. Wait, gas is cheaper now under Joe Biden? Oh no, obviously it's not. It's actually 65% more expensive. Okay, and this is true even for political issues that are less obvious than the price of gas. I'm glad you liked that clip. Now, we hit 1 million subscribers. I'm so pleased. I'm really thrilled about the 1 million subscribers. I get the nice gold play button. It's very, very cool. You've got to head on over, though, and ring this bell and get the notifications and subscribe because I want to hit 1 billion subscribers. So do it now. Thank you. See you next time.